Denver area, an unbeaten American fighter. His career has been interrupted a couple times for jail terms on relatively petty but nevertheless significant criminal charges. Breidis Prescott is out of Colombia, which has become a haven for punchers, and they're both big 140-pound fighters at 5'9", 5'11", arm length 22 and 23. They both weighed in at 140, and look at the rehydration. Both guys have gone up to 157 pounds, which means these 240-pounders are going to functionally enter the ring as middleweights, Emmanuel.
That's what happens often with those 30 hours between weigh-ins.
Prescott jumped Khan in England a few years ago, caught him with power shots early, ultimately wiped him out with a left hook. And that is the only loss on Amir Khan's record. He's since stormed back to win a series of fights and become, at this moment, pretty much the #1 guy in the 140-pound weight class. Tim Bradley would argue the point, and maybe he can make an argument later tonight. Although a victory over Joel Casamayor for Tim Bradley is regarded as something of a given. Here's Prescott, who would like to make a bigger name for himself, who would like to get a rematch with Khan so that he can try to prove the point again. But so far it hasn't happened. Now here's Mike Alvarado, unbeaten American fighter out of the Colorado area. Emmanuel Stewart, he fights with a high, tight guard and is regarded as a power puncher. What are your views of Mike Alvarado?
I think it's exactly that. And for Breidis, you know, Prescott, he basically is a loop. He likes to throw looping right-hand punches, which means he should be ideally made for Alvarado, because Alvarado would move in with shorter, more accurate punches with a shorter distance, and he should win the fight.
Alvarado has some good wins, including a 10th-round TKO of Emmanuel Clottey a couple of years ago, which showed that he could deal with a very skilled boxer who's tough.
And Alvarado has an exciting style.
Well, he's been figured for stardom for a while, but the intermittent nature of his career has robbed him of the chance to get there. Here now, a chance to begin building the campaign in earnest at age 31. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, the action continues, and it's all brought to you by Top Rank Boxing, of course, this time in association with Warriors Boxing and DeBella Entertainment. Sponsored by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter, AT&T. Get it faster with 4G, rethink possible, and Smart Communications of the Philippines. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission and the International Boxing Federation. The 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside will be Lisa Jampa, Patricia Morse-Jarman, and Jerry Roth. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Jay Nady. And now 10 rounds of boxing. This is for the vacant IBF Latino Junior Welterweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trimmed with red and blue and silver. Official weight, 140 pounds. Professional record, 24 victories, including 19 knockouts, only 3 defeats. From Barranquilla, Colombia, here is Breidis Prescott. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing turquoise trimmed with black, officially weighing 140 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one, consisting of 31 fights, 31 victories, including 22 knockouts. From Thornton, Colorado, here's the undefeated, Mile High Mike Alvarado.
No, you're getting shorter. Come on. Come on. Any questions? Diaz rounds. Obey my commands. Best start. Good luck. Touch gloves. Let's go to work.
This fight has a chance to be bombs away.
One of those cameras goes down.
When you bring guests to a fight like this, as some of us are lucky enough to do from time to time, the first question they'll ask you is, at what point should I come into the arena? Tonight, the answer was easy. Get there in time for Alvarado Prescott. That's a fight you want to see.
You got a bunch of gauze on there. Box.
Jay Nady gets some gauze removed from Mike Alvarado's wrist. Mike Alvarado is one of those kids who did not originally know his biological father. He was raised by a stepfather whom he reveres, and the Alvarado family was a family of wrestlers. Later on, Alvarado learned that his original father, his biological father, was a boxer. And so, in fact, he inherits this directly without having realized at first that that was the case.
Yep, that put one on the ledger on the side of nature, Jim.
As opposed to nurture, but in his case, he got both. He got the fighting instincts of the wrestling Alvarado family and the biological gifts of his father, a boxer. Now, Breidis Prescott has begun as the aggressor in the fight. And you see that high, tight guard, kind of a peekaboo, out of which Alvarado fights. And the idea is to explode out of that guard with hard shots, and he's got the mustard to do it. Right, Emmanuel?
He's got all of the talent, but right now at this stage here, Prescott is dominating the fight.
Prescott has started fast.
And he's jabbing right between the gloves of Alvarado.
These are two exceptionally strong 140-pound fighters, and you can bet they're exceptionally strong when they both enter at 157 pounds.
No wonder they punch like middleweights.
Well, Prescott is very unusual for guys from Colombia. He's one of the few guys that had a brilliant amateur background. He had about 185, I think, amateur fights. Most of the guys from Colombia have very little international or either just amateur boxing experience, period. But he's fighting a much, much better fight than I expected.
Well, the Colombian fighter who achieved the highest profile in recent years was Edison Miranda in the middleweight division. Unbelievable, spectacular body. At first it appeared amazing punching power with the right hand, but eventually he got taken apart by Kelly Pavlik and was never really the same after that.
I never was high on Miranda.
Because?
I never thought he was a balanced out fighter enough. He basically had one or two good knockouts. I was a great fight over in England when he fought with his, you know,
a tremendous fight against Arthur Abraham.
Yeah, but I was never that impressed with him as an all-around fighter.
Abraham sort of validated the notion that Miranda was a huge puncher because he got his jaw broken in the fight and fought 9 or 10 rounds with a compound fracture of the jaw with blood pouring into his mouth.
Relax, how you feeling? Good? Good. Gotta hide your head. Water. Keep the jab, very good jab. You understand? Keep your jab. And you taking the round. Be careful with his right hand. He wants to throw that one. You gotta move your body.
Grab water. Keeks! How you doing? Easy. You guys gotta be more big. Little more head movement, okay? A little bit more water. A little bit more water.
CompuBox numbers in round one, and we told you Prescott got off to a fast start. Alvarado was on the defensive throughout the round, and Alvarado wound up landing 6 out of 36 punches compared to 22 out of 69 for Prescott, which makes it not a difficult round to score.
Alvarado is uncharacteristically cautious so far, but Prescott's a real puncher who's been active with his hands.
But you know, it isn't really Prescott is really punching him. He's punching at the right target. That's what he's boxing right between the gloves. His jabs are between the gloves, his left uppercuts. He's not punching the regular looping type shots that I expected him to throw, which would have ended up landing on the gloves of Alvarado. But he's placing his punches very well.
What's the amateur boxing scene like in Denver, Emmanuel? The only other Denver area fighter I can remember of prominence in recent years was Stevie Johnson.
It's not too much. That's mainly where a lot of the boxers, the headwaters up in Colorado Springs. But for the most part, Denver doesn't have that many good boxers coming out.
And part of the result of that is that we don't know Alvarado's trainer very well, Sean Vilhauer. You have any familiarity with him at all?
No, not at all.
We do know that Alvarado served as a sparring partner for Ricky Hatton for the preparation, for Manny Pacquiao, in Pacquiao's preparation for the Ricky Hatton fight. And of course, everybody who was in Pacquiao's camp must have done a sensational job before the Hatton fight, because that wound up being one of the most spectacular 2-round knockouts you've ever seen. Prescott still on the offensive and still landing. Uppercut gets through the guard.
So far, just the action that's taken place in the ring is a mild upset. You figure Alvarado to be the busier guy, and Prescott's moving his hands, and as Emmanuel mentions, they're straighter punches than we're used to seeing out of him.
Yeah, it usually would be looping his shots, but he's playing a very smart. He's really did his homework in preparation for Alvarado for this fight. All of his punches are placed properly, and he's outworking him, out-punching him. You seem to have better energy to me at this stage.
Well, in his last fight, he fought Paul McCloskey in Northern Ireland and lost a decision to McCloskey, which he and the others in his camp felt was not good, in fact, outrageous. He firmly believes that he beat McCloskey, but McCloskey was given credit. And, of course, you know, when that happens, you say to Breidis Prescott, as we did, well, you went to Northern Ireland to fight him, and he said, I know, I got what I paid for it.
Isn't it amazing? Prescott, even though he's taller than Alvarado, he's beating him on the inside.
Yeah, Alvarado. This is a better distance for Alvarado, but Prescott's still hitting him.
Yes.
Now Alvarado begins to loosen up a little bit. You saw the 3-punch combination there. Mostly been 1 punch at a time up to this point for Alvarado. And he seems to realize the need to be a little bit more active now and try to assert himself more in the fight. Coming in January, on Freddie Roach, 6 episodes of director Peter Berg's intensely personal look at the man who 5 times has been named Trainer of the Year against the backdrop of Parkinson's disease.
I told you to work your distance, so what happened? I want you to work your distance. What's wrong with you? Let's go jab. Strong jab. Start with the jab.
Yes. I need you on that one. Just get into it. I need to bring that bucket up. I need you on that one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mike, on the line. Okay? Jabs working everything. The yellow one. Let's go. That's going to be the spit bucket. The yellow one.
Round 3 begins. Breidis Prescott has held the initiative through most of the first 2 rounds. He came out firing a jab and power punches, and his energy level has remained high so far in the fight. Alvarado started to wake up, it seemed, in the last minute of round 2 when he began firing combinations back at Prescott.
He found what would you think would be his preferred distance, but he didn't win those exchanges at that distance.
No.
He momentarily switched into a southpaw stance there and then immediately switched back. I guess he didn't see what he wanted out of Prescott when he switched southpaw. But one thing becomes clear. Alvarado has begun to lower his left hand, Emmanuel. Is he inviting Prescott to lead so he can counter?
I think so. But I tell you what, the way it's going, this is all Prescott to me. He's winning the fight in every way.
I like his body combinations a lot.
Well, Prescott, of course, is looking for an Amir Khan fight.
And is perhaps incentivized by the fact that Khan is calling the fight on British television 2 rows away from us.
The only guy to beat Khan, and he knocked him clean out in the first round. If he continues this and goes on to dominate Alvarado, he's a credible opponent for Khan.
Indeed, he'll be putting a certain pressure on Khan and on the boxing public to ask for the fight if he can continue the performance he's putting on so far here against Alvarado.
Since Khan, Prescott's come up just short against better opposition. And Khan, obviously, since that fight, has dominated everybody in the world he's fought, and he's fought some very good fighters.
But Prescott, I saw Prescott fight about 4 or 5. He's never fought as good as he's fighting tonight.
That's right.
Even when he knocked out Khan.
Right.
He was wide with his punches. You know, he just caught Khan earlier, but he's fighting a fantastic fight tonight.
He caught Khan cold in the first round. Khan has said that he made a mistake fighting during Ramadan. We don't accept that as an excuse, but if they fight again, Khan can use it for his own emotional security. Alvarado over the top with the right hand has begun to get much more aggressive now in this round. But Breidis Prescott isn't allowing it to affect him. Still doing exactly what he's done.
Prescott is nearly 6 feet tall, and I'm looking at how he's slipping, bobbing, and weaving punches. Fighting short when he wants to, fighting tall when he wants to. For the most part, he's fighting in tight with short punches.
And busy as all get out.
Come on. No.
And now Jane Nady warns Prescott against firing low.
Right between the gloves.
I need more input. The jab's there every freaking time, baby. Every time. Time to get busy now. You're hitting him with all kinds of shots. You're hitting him with every shot you're throwing, baby.
Look now, when he throws his jab, he brings his left down. That's when you have to work your right, left, right. You understand? And keep the jab there. Keep it working. Watch his right hand. Watch his right hand. Jab. Jab and right. Jab and move.
Combat box numbers on jabs through 3 rounds. Alvarado 24 out of 106. Prescott 41 of 120. He's throwing 40 jabs per round. That's an excellent number. And it's dominating the fight so far for Prescott. In our last fight on the undercard, Luis Cruz, favored, allowed Juan Carlos Burgos to get off to a 3-round lead and never really functionally got back into a position to win the fight. Harold, how do you have this one so far?
Set legs him 3-0, 30-27. Breidis Prescott. I mean, he's been the busier guy. Then that left jab, piling up points, right uppercuts. Mike Alvarado just didn't seem to get into a rhythm at all in rounds 1 and 2. It was just like Emmanuel said. Breidis Prescott was doing everything. Alvarado was covering up and looking at him. I mean, Mike is one of these guys that likes to come forward. He's usually a very busy guy. He likes to overpower his opponents. And look what he's doing, backing up. I mean, it's not typical Alvarado. And, you know, Prescott's winning.
He's getting ripped. He's bleeding from the mouth. He doesn't like the blood. Prescott is taking advantage and firing away. Mike Alvarado's already in trouble in the fight.
Well, Prescott is mixing up his attack. He's throwing short shots over the top, then coming up between the gloves, back over top, up between the gloves. And at this stage, Alvarado can't figure out where the shots are coming from.
That's a lot of blood, Emmanuel. I said from the mouth, but he may have a cut somewhere on his face that I haven't discerned yet.
Watch your head, like a banzai.
Emmanuel, I know he's not fighting like a tall fighter all the time, but
he's very effective, like Diego Corrales was sometimes very effective with short punches. It's working.
And from long range, he's looking like a Kronk fighter. He's from long range, he's punching right between the guard. Yeah, hard, short shots.
Guys, this is a mugging so far. And Breidis Prescott has taken it to Mike Alvarado as though Alvarado stumbled into the wrong neighborhood in Barranquilla, the rough town from which Prescott emerges. Hold. Stop.
I also think Alvarado's been a little tentative because he tasted Prescott's considerable power early in the fight.
Well, you know, basically Alvarado walks in with his hands up high, as you were saying earlier, Jim, and that's been his way of fighting. And this guy was smart. He's punching right between the gloves, and he hasn't figured out how to block punches coming up between the gloves.
Yeah, I'll see your high guard and double down with my punching power. And Alvarado's face is a mess.
And I love the left jab of Prescott. See that what the jab did right there alone.
Now if he would catch and counter,
he'd
really look like a Kronk fighter, Emmanuel. If he caught and countered, he'd really look like a Kronk fighter.
Yeah. But you know, Alvarado knows to throw nothing for him to catch and counter.
The nature of all that blood and where it is, Emmanuel, I have to guess that Alvarado has been cut inside his mouth.
It must have been somewhere. You remember when that expression he had on his face, which stimulated Prescott? It was something that happened that I think was on the inside.
And if you're cut inside your mouth, it means you're going to swallow blood.
Yes.
And don't think for a second that isn't going to affect him in the fight. Alvarado senses the urgency. He's trying to land power shots in a hurry now. Breidis Prescott has a big round. They fight past the bell. That's what you pay for.
Alvarado really showing something there.
Let's go. Relax. He's yours now, bro, okay? He is yours now. Can I see on my left eye? Yeah. You okay? You're okay. You're okay, Mike. You're okay. Relax. Put this on him. Foot pressure right here. Hold that. Hold that. Mike, he's yours now. Man. He's done, Mike. All right? I need you on the body more. This is your nuts and guts. This is your check time right here. Mike, I'm serious, okay? He's done, bro. He's throwing leave me alone shots. All the time. He's going to start strong in his first round. Stay tight coming in.
Here you see the right uppercut, which really caused most of the damage originally. And especially when a punch glazes coming up like that on the eye, it always creates swelling. And then you see at the end of the round, both guys are just opening up, letting all punches go from all angles right here. Great finish.
Here's a cut above the left eye of Mike Alvarado. As we said, we believe there is a cut in his mouth. We think we heard him tell his trainer it was on the roof of his mouth. Prescott has wiped the blood of Alvarado off of his face, but he got tagged with some big shots at the end of the preceding round. And now we go to the 5th of a scheduled 10. Good right hand by Alvarado. Caught Prescott off balance. Alvarado switches southpaw, then immediately switches back.
Prescott gets some leverage on those uppercuts.
Well, I would say this about Alvarado. He is not giving up, and he's coming out trying to step up his game a lot more this round than in the previous rounds.
He's showing guts.
Yes, he's not just one of those guys that's showing it, I'm a tough guy, but he's actually trying to win the fight, too.
He needs focus and concentration. Not easy to muster when you're bleeding from the mouth and the eye.
That's such a good distinction, Emmanuel. He's not trying to show this crowd, look at me, I've got heart, I'm going to be brave and come get my beating. He's fighting with heart, trying to win.
Now you heard the words of encouragement from his corner. He's all done, referring to Prescott. He's all yours now. Surely Alvarado, the one who's in there with Prescott, knew that wasn't the case. He knew the fight was still going.
Yeah, Prescott has slowed down a little. He slowed down a lot, so he shot such a strong throw, but they may have noticed that too. He slowed down a lot, but just the physical damage to Alvarado, I think, is the biggest problem.
How could he not have slowed down? He came out, did Prescott like a house of fire.
Right, he had everything hang out, so he had to slow down some.
Jim, that was a great catch that you thought he got cut inside his mouth. It is spurting out of his mouth.
Well, ironically, just a few rounds ago, we were talking about Arthur Abraham against Edison Miranda. And now we're looking at the same thing, or so it would appear.
But we got in Germany where Miranda didn't get the decision. But he was fighting Abraham.
Neither one of these two guys, I think, is thinking about the scorecards.
No, these guys, this is a great fight. And you know how many clinches we saw in the entire fight? I don't think it was in one clinch.
There's a great rally by Alvarado. He landed 4 straight clean shots. Alvarado is showing tremendous courage now as he tries to fight his way back into this with blood streaming from his nose and his mouth. Prior to the fight, Alvarado told us, yeah, I've been cut a couple times, but nothing really serious. They didn't even need to be stitched up, and nothing from a punch, always from butts. Well, he won't be able to say that again.
Well, I would say this much. He's punching with a lot of authority still.
Who won that round? Yeah, dude. We're starting to... You had him hurt. Yeah, I had him hurt. We're starting to walk him down. I need you a lot busy. Close that eye. I need you busy. Breathe. I need you busy. These are your rounds.
Don't get close to him.
You got 5 rounds left.
Use your distance and enough where you have distance to let your punches go. You understand? You don't have to go in there with him.
Mike, I need more jabs, okay? We're trying to one-shot.
And you gotta go with distance. You need that distance. Keep your reach. You get good when you're open.
Okay? For your counter punches. Your counter.
Tienes que ayudarme, papá. No me destaparon eso ahí, el hierro.
Jabs in the 5th round. Alvarado 7 out of 35. Prescott 19 out of 45. He's still rolling up bigger numbers on CompuBox than is Mike Alvarado. Oh, there's a good solid right hand by Alvarado.
Alvarado's fighting. I think after a certain point he realized he was losing. His regular style of fighting wasn't working, so he's decided he's going to have to fight tonight. He can't go into his defensive walk him down, hands over your head type mode. So he's fighting now.
Now in the 3rd round, he went ahead and dropped his left hand down to his waist, taking it out of that high guard position where he started because he realized he was going to need to be an offensive fighter tonight.
No, he's fighting now. He's giving up on trying to fight off of defense. He's just letting everything hang out right now. And he's fighting good right now, considering everything.
And his face is a mess, cut over the left eye, a split lip on the right side, and obviously a cut somewhere in his mouth. He thinks it's on the roof of his mouth.
But they've stopped the bleeding above the left eye for the moment. The swelling is not so bad that it interferes with his vision. As it stands right now, distracted though he must be by the blood in his mouth, he can fight, as he's shown you.
He started fighting when he got busted up.
Yes, he started to fight better then.
No, stop! No.
Alvarado is dialing it in with his right cross. He's getting closer and closer to landing something that could reverse the damage a little bit.
And as I said, he's punching with a lot of power, too. A lot of times the guy would be throwing punches, but they don't have that much power at this stage. His right hand and his left hook, he's punching with full force.
Breidis Prescott's uppercuts are murderous. He just popped Alvarado's head up like a jack-in-the-box. Straight uppercuts again.
Emmanuel, you mentioned it before, sort of like a Diego Corrales tall inside fighter with good short uppercuts.
Yes. Especially when he's been known to throw long looping punches. This is what surprised me. That's why I thought it would have been an easy fight for Alvarado in the beginning, but when he came out punching with short punches, bending down and punching between the gloves, I was totally surprised.
Now they're in a phone booth, trading uppercuts. Prescott's legs were impressive early on.
Inside fighting, the best inside fighting is still coming from Prescott, believe it or not.
It's just a good fight.
Excellent. Both guys giving it all they've got. This is what you want to see on the undercard of a great pay-per-view. A full-on war between Breidis Prescott and Mike Alvarado.
Watch your head.
Six rounds in the books.
Sit down. It's yours now, bro.
Let me see his leg real quick. Mike, let me see his leg. It's fine. Stop. Hold on. It's not just. Seriously. Rudy, you got to put some effort on that.
I need you to step to him, baby. You got to Rudy.
Here you see what may have typified the last round. One guy lands a beautiful uppercut through the setup. He comes back with another beautiful uppercut. He comes back with another uppercut. He comes back with another uppercut.
That's a phone booth sequence, as I said. CompuBox numbers in the sixth round. For the first time, Alvarado outlands Prescott 28-22. He threw 66. Prescott threw 59. Prescott threw only 15 jabs. As that number begins to drop and they get closer and closer, Harold, This is the most important thing. How do you have it through 6?
You know, Jim, I tell you, that's what Mike Alvarado's got to do. He's got to take this fight inside because Breidis Prescott's got long arms. He scores very, very well when he uses that jab. You know, if Mike Alvarado won a round, certainly he won round 6. I've got it 5 rounds to 1, 59-55, Breidis Prescott.
Let's go. Be quiet, please.
Harold, there's intense medical supervision and observation in Alvarado's corner. In your sense of watching it, do you think the doctors have come close to considering stopping the fight?
No, not really, because, you know, Mike Alvarado is definitely in this fight. He's punching back. You know, it would raise Cain if they stopped this fight. No, I doubt it. Unless, you know, they know something that I don't, I think they'll let it go.
Round 7 begins. Prescott moving away, now looking as though he'd like to find a little space and go back to throwing his jab. Another hard right hand by Alvarado. More and more it looks like if he's going to rescue himself in this fight, it'll be with that right hand.
Yeah, and you know, you'd think, as Harold said, that the inside would be Alvarado's position, but as Emmanuel points out, Prescott's effective in there, and Alvarado can uncork the right hand from long range and time it a little better.
But one change here is that now, for the first time in the fight, actually it began in the last round, Alvarado's beating Prescott to the punch. In the first couple rounds, Prescott was always first in every exchange. Now Alvarado is getting the edge with that jab.
Watch your head.
There's definitely been a momentum shift in this fight.
Emmanuel, is Prescott tired?
He's short a little bit of wear, but when they're at a certain distance, as we were saying earlier, Max, Alvarado's fighting better at this distance here. And when they're in close, strangely enough, it's been favoring more Prescott, just the opposite of what it should be. But Alvarado's fighting very good right now as far as his power punches. Strength seems to be good.
There's a right hand for Prescott. Alvarado perfectly willing to trade with him now. That's his best chance. Prescott, watch your head, shows evidence of tiring mentally. He's made a couple mistakes in this round like he had not previously made in the fight, backing into a corner on his own and giving Alvarado a chance to trap him there. And now there's a big swelling under the left eye of Mike Alvarado. And there's blood on Prescott's face, which may now come from a Prescott cut under his left eye.
Stop.
7 rounds completed. Referee Tony Weeks will be handling the Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez fight. Here, referee's instructions in Pacquiao's dressing room.
Can't be saved by the bell in any round, including the last and final round, okay? 3 knockdown rule is waived. However, after so many knockdowns, it's going to be my discretion when I stop a fight, okay? Watch all your fouls. Low blows, kidney punches, rabbit punches, hitting on the break, hitting after the bell. Any foul that feels intentional will be automatic 2-point deduction for an intentional foul, okay? Along those same lines, as the fighter goes down, whether you knock him down or he falls down, do not hit him. It's going to be my discretion where the blow is already on his way, as opposed to you hitting the guy when he's down, okay? Do we have 2 mouthpieces?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if the mouthpiece comes out, continue to fight until there's a law on the action. Come off to you, no water, no instruction. We put it back in, be ready to go again. Now, if I determine that you spit that mouthpiece out to gain any type of advantage, I'm going to warn you that after that I'm deducting points, okay? Already knockdowns, go to the first neutral corner, stay there till I tell you to come out. If you come out any time during the count, I'll stop the count and send you back. Wait for me to tell you to resume the fight, okay? Are any questions or concerns at this time?
No, sir.
Hey?
It's okay.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
CompuBox numbers in the 7th round. Alvarado was given credit for landing 23 out of 54. That's a big round. Most of them were power shots. Prescott dropped to 54 punches thrown, and his number of thrown punches has been dropping in each of the last 4 rounds, and he was given credit for landing only 8. So the momentum of the fight has now clearly shifted, or at least in that round it clearly shifted in favor of Mike Alvarado.
You know what I think the difference has been since Alvarado's face got busted up and he started fighting better is that he's able to think better while fatigued. He's out thinking Prescott in there. They're both tired, and Alvarado is doing more of what he wants to do.
I think the exchange where he was hurt, busted up a lot, as Jim said earlier, I think Prescott shot his wad to a certain degree. He took a lot of his energy out, and from that point on, he hasn't been able to have the same snap that he had before. And it also woke Alvarado up.
And I think the other big thing, just to fill out the picture here, is that Alvarado made a smart adjustment when in round 3 he decided, I've got to dispense with my normal style, I've got to drop my hands out of my high guard, I may get hit some more, but this is going to become a slugfest, and I'd better be a part of it.
Punishing fight.
Yeah.
Uppercut city in there.
You see what Prescott is doing? He's punching and pushing forward all at the same time to neutralize the balance and the power of Alvarado's punches.
Incidentally, we've made references 2 or 3 times here to this being a phone booth fight. For all of our viewers who are too young to know what a phone booth is, it's narrow, it's tight, there's not a lot of room in there. Something you used to find on many street corners.
Superman used to be able to change in there.
These days, Superman would change on Facebook or Twitter, I assume. Alvarado almost gulled Prescott into going to sleep there and caught him with a quick shot.
Why do you have to exchange with him? Why? Why? Where's the towel? Jab, jab, jab. Jab. Stay jabbing. And that's where we win the fight. Okay, with the jab alone, that's the way you're going to win. Why you got to exchange for him? 2 rounds left. This is the night.
Fast jab. 1, 2, 1, 2. Everything. Got you right here, baby. I got you.
Hold on. You got to continue to go with those straight punches. You understand? You get him close.
Here we see Alvarado land his best punch of the night, a right hand right on the chin. In particular, when he looked like he was relaxing back, and all of a sudden he just stepped in and shot it off the bat.
It was a terrific round, the 8th. Alvarado was 33 out of 75, 44%, 20 power shots landed. Prescott 26 out of 78. And he made a mini comeback in the round, but still Harold Letterman gave the round to Alvarado. On Harold's scorecard, Prescott won the first 5 rounds, meaning if he won one more round, Alvarado would have been in a position where he would have needed a knockout to win the fight unofficially on Harold's unofficial scorecard. But Alvarado has won the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, and has a chance here to get close to evening the fight on Harold's scorecard if he can win the 9th.
Alvarado's been able to make adjustments. He sees what works, he goes back to it until Prescott shows him it doesn't work anymore. Right uppercuts on the inside, right hands over the top for long range.
This fight has been a more violent version in terms of the scoring momentum of the first fight we saw, in which prospect Luis Cruz fell behind early against Juan Carlos Burgos. When Cruz made a comeback, Burgos was able to find a second gear and win a couple late rounds to seal the deal. So far, Prescott hasn't found that second gear. Breidis Prescott was a monster early in the fight. All of his punches had snap. Different story now. He's laboring a little bit.
And you see Alvarado is fighting at a distance now where he's trying to take his time, trying to load up and catch him with 1 or 2 clean shots. He realizes he's got to do some serious damage. He's not going to try to win the fight by just out-hustling him. He's trying to land hard shots taking his time and placing them very well.
Alvarado had 22 knockouts and 31 wins coming in. 31-0-0. Some nights you just have to buckle down and grind it out any way you can. He's swallowing blood. His eyes are swelling towards shutting, but he's making the comeback necessary to get back into the fight. Southpaw stance didn't do anything for Alvarado there. He switches back to convention. Prescott's looking to pick up one late round. Was this it? 1 round to go.
I think he won that round.
That's what you have to do. That's the Prescott that I know. He's throwing the right hands. Careful he doesn't surprise you. It's the last round. The last round. Move here. You gotta move. Straighten his legs up. Move to your left, move to the right.
Everything he worked on right here. Nuts and guts.
To the years. Years have been there all night. You understand?
All night.
Up the middle. Up the middle and then up the middle. You understand? You
Go, Mike, go.
You've got to get the ground. You've got to get the ground.
Parker needs you to go this round.
All right, so for the second time in a row on this undercard, we go to the 10th of a scheduled 10. It's been a pretty spirited fight all the way. Mike Alvarado fighting through blood. Breidis Prescott trying to hold on to his early momentum. Harold, how do you have it coming through the 10th?
You know, Jim, I think round 9 was a terrible time for Mike Alvarado to stop fighting. I mean, good God, in my estimation, he lost the first 5 rounds. He needed the last 5 at least to get a draw or to win the fight. And, you know, in the 9th round, all of a sudden, he stopped. I mean, and Prescott was certainly tired. 6 rounds to 3. 87, 84, Breidis Prescott. I thought he swept the first 5. At round 9, I thought he probably would have lost it, but Alvarado didn't punch.
So on Harold Letterman's scorecard, at least, if Prescott stands up, he wins here in the 10th. And as we mentioned, huge incentive for Prescott. He'd be beating an unbeaten American fighter if he can get this done. He'll be winning on a major pay-per-view undercard in Las Vegas if he can get this done. He'll be scoring a big win, 3 rows in front of Amir Khan, the guy he'd like to fight again. Now they're trading leather in the 10th. Alvarado landed a couple of good shots.
Right hands that really seemed to hurt Prescott, Jim.
Prescott buying a little time there. Vicious uppercut. Another vicious uppercut. Down goes Prescott. The knockdown changes the scoring back again. First time Breidis Prescott has ever been down as a professional fighter. And what a comeback by Alvarado. Maybe he stopped fighting in the 9th to save some energy for the 10th. And if so, it's paying off for him. He's got a chance to score a dramatic late knockout victory.
He doesn't know how to tie him up. Prescott doesn't know how to tie him up.
Prescott is leaving himself open. Alvarado is ripping him with uppercuts. If Jay Nady separates them, he's going to stop the fight.
Good stoppage.
Very good stoppage. Prescott was out on his feet. Jay Nady's catching help from Prescott's corner.
No.
But you heard both the
Jay Nady is exactly right. That's how a fighter gets permanently damaged.
The only reason that Prescott didn't fall is because he was falling and grabbing hold to the body of his opponent. Other than that, he was going face down.
And he was going to go face down in the next few moments anyway.
Absolutely. I was about to say, if Nady separates them, Prescott might fall on his face. Yeah. So he separated him and decided to stop the fight. Anyway, you know, at the end of the day, that was a fascinating comeback effort by Alvarado. And even though it looked like all war and blood and guts in there, Emmanuel, it was a technical adjustment that he made to change the fight.
Yeah, fantastic victory.
Alvarado closed the show, landing 27 out of 38 power shots. He goes to 32-0. Breidis Prescott loses the campaign he was mounting for a rematch with Amir Khan.
Dramatic ending to an excellent prize fight.
And as we mentioned, it's the first time Prescott was ever knocked down, so of course it's the first time he was ever knocked out. Emmanuel, these uppercuts are blistering.
These are fantastic punches, and it's amazing for a guy who looked like he was about to be stopped about 5 rounds early himself to come back and have this kind of power and strength and ability to think that good in the last round.
You know what else I love about this stoppage, guys? Those 3 right hands Alvarado landed in the beginning of the round, they seem to have a disproportionate effect on Prescott because Prescott was fatigued, and Emmanuel, he started to have an uncoordinated look in his reaction to punches even before the knockdown.
All he was doing was trying to find Alvarado's body to grab and hold on.
Well,
so
this is going to be the stoppage here, and you see what Nady's looking at, and you can see how little Prescott has left in the legs, as Jay Nady says, no, I'm not going to let you take another 4 or 5 flush shots from Mike Alvarado, who is a dangerous puncher.
And he was placing those shots properly, too.
Harold, you got a comment about this?
You know, Jim, Jay Nady is my hero. It's about time we got a referee who recognizes the fact that a guy's seriously hurt. Great stoppage by Nady. He did the right thing.
Let's go to Michael Buffer for the particulars on the KO.
Ladies and gentlemen, as usual here at the MGM Grand Garden, another great fight in the smaller divisions at 140 pounds. This was one hell of a war. Referee Jay Nady stops the contest at 1 minute, 53 seconds of the 10th and final round. The winner by TKO victory, still undefeated, Mile High, Mike Alvarado.
Coming to the 10th round. If I'm reading these scores correctly, all 3 judges had Prescott well ahead and about to win the fight. He was up 87-84, 87-84, 86-85. What a comeback win by Alvarado.
With his right lip, the right side of his lip split off his face. Something in his mouth busted open.
Final CompuBox numbers, Prescott landing 16 more, throwing 42 more. It all goes for naught as Alvarado lands the big shots in the 10th round that sealed the deal. Power shots, Alvarado caught up and ultimately landed 22 more than did Breidis Prescott. They threw about the same number. It was the uppercuts and the right crosses in the 10th round that made Mike Alvarado a winner and kept his record unblemished.
Talk about Jay Nady's stoppage, guys. I'm concerned about Prescott right now, even with the stoppage. That was a brutal ending to that fight.
Oh, no.